Today I want to do something a little bit different, and I just want to share my story of why I started this channel, how I came to build and repair guitars, and some of the mistakes that I made along the way. I'm Dave with Stringing It Together, and let's dive in. So I kind of came into guitar repair a bit backwards in that I learned how to build a guitar before I actually learned how to repair them, even in the slightest. Here's the first guitar that I built, Matilda. I'll get into the specs of it later on in the video, but I just want to talk about how I came to build and how I came to repair. So this is one of two acoustics that I built from scratch. So I can't really call myself a luthier. Maybe once I get to 100, then I will. So the first time I played a really nice acoustic guitar was when I was 23. I was always kind of afraid to pick up those ones off the top shelf at the music store. You know, I didn't really know what they sounded like or felt like. And when I was 23, my dad came into a bit of money and he decided to spend it all on me and my brother. He bought us each a guitar, Martin's. Mine was a Martin D28. My brother's was an OM style. And that was the first time I really played a guitar that was perfectly set up and sounded amazing. Still does. You know, you'd play a note and it would ring out for days, and just the rich tone. That's when I sort of switched from electric to acoustic mostly. And from that point on, that's when I really was wanting to learn how to build guitars. I had a little bit of woodworking experience, and I always liked working with wood, but that's really what set in motion me wanting to build guitars. So also, you know, a year or two later, relationship ending, I kind of had a bit of free time on my hands, so, and no real direction in life. So I saved up a bunch of money, and I paid for a guitar building course. I found one in Winnipeg, Manitoba, with this guy named Jeremy Hamm, who's a really great luthier, really humble guy, builds some amazing guitars, Hamm-tone guitars. You can check him out. Maybe I'll put a link in the description below. And it was like 6 weeks, start to finish. That's where I built this guitar. So I had guidance, obviously. You know, he's there watching you, he's telling you how to do it, and you learn all kinds of tips and tricks in that way. And I was able to make this guitar in the exact way that I wanted. So I had my D28 for my flat picking, and this guitar I wanted for finger picking. So that's why I made it as an OM style. So it has the wider spacing down here, shorter scale length, and I added some walnut on the back and sides, Sitka spruce, which is just kind of typical for the top, and then the mahogany on the neck. And I really like the feel of my old acoustic guitar, actually, so I just matched the neck on that, and that way it's kind of felt like a comfortable place for me. So it was after that I spent a year focused 100% on building, and I built up my shop from scratch, searching up garage sales, thrift stores, all these kinds of things for everything that I needed on a pretty tight budget, very little budget, and considering I was spending all my time building guitars. And I was 100% focused on building guitars for that whole year and restoring guitars. I built my second one from start to finish there. And then shortly after that I had a surprise, my first son. So I had to go back to school, sort of like my high school all over again. What am I going to do for a job? Guitar building wasn't paying the bills. So I also had my music degree, which also wasn't paying the bills. So I had to go back to school, which was a 2-year degree, and also had to make money at that time. So during that time, that's when I got a job as a repair guy at a music store. And it was kind of like an old music store that had been kind of not really open a whole lot. Had a bunch of these sort of cheap old guitars hanging on the wall, and all of them needed a ton of work, you know, lifting bridges, warped necks, you name it, it was everything, and I also had repairs coming in. So it was during that time that I really refined my methods and made a ton of mistakes, which I'll share with you now. So one example is I had this method for leveling frets, right? I kind of went into it thinking, okay, I've built guitars, I know what I'm doing, I know how to level frets. So what I would do is, what you would do when you build a guitar is, you know, you have your fingerboard and you've hammered your frets in, and then do a level of the entire thing until you can see just the tops. So you're touching all the tops, and then, you know, you crown it off, and then you know it's good to go, right? Well, I kept doing that over and over again, and I would level all the frets off, and then I would test it, buzzing like crazy, and I was just, beating my head against the wall. I couldn't figure it out, and even though I was searching YouTube, nothing was really coming to the answer. I kept finding these methods, and okay, this method's slightly better, and maybe I'd tweak my method a little bit, but I wasn't getting any answers, because the problem is that I was so focused on the method, and I wasn't focused on what was really going on. So it wasn't until I decided, okay, what's going on? I was looking down the guitar, and I realized, oh, well, obviously, it's so obvious what's going on, is that right around this part of the guitar, on almost all of these cheap guitars, there was a big hump where it joins the body. Now, obviously, when you're building a guitar, that's not going to be the case, because you've sanded that perfectly flat. But when you're working on a guitar that's been sitting with the strings on for a long time, that is the case. And that's when it sort of clicked in my brain that I was making a big mistake. I was applying a method to a wrong problem. And that realization sort of rippled out into all areas of guitar repair. And to break it down into its most simple parts, you have three things. You have the diagnostics, you have the tool for the job, and then the method. The first is the diagnostic, because without the proper diagnostic, the other two are basically useless. The second is the tools for the job, which if you've seen my channel, you can see I like to make my own tools. And three is the method. Now the methods can vary depending on what you are, where your skill levels are, but the key is the diagnostic. So, for things like adjusting your intonation, working on your nut, knowing whether you need a neck reset or not, or whether it's just the truss rod. There's all these areas of guitar repair that if you focus on those three things in that order, then you will be successful and get the results that you want. It's almost like your body, how it kind of works in harmony together. For example, when I was younger, I had a hernia operation. I went to the doctor for knee pain. He looked at my knee, and I mentioned the hernia operation in the notes or whatever. And he said, "Oh, you're looking at you. It's not your knee that's the problem. It's because where I had the hernia operation was tightened up, and therefore it was putting my knee out of alignment." So he loosened up that area, and then all of a sudden my knee was better, and it's been better ever since. So sort of the same for guitar repair. Sometimes you can be trying to fix something, and it's really, you're just looking in the wrong spot. It's a balancing act between everything. The first step being your frets. And it's that sort of approach and philosophy that's sort of guiding what I'm creating, which if you're watching in the future will be out now, but right now I'm working on it, which is sort of a comprehensive course specifically tailored for guitar players who want to be able to fix their own guitars and the guitars of family, friends, those around them. And the key to that is obviously knowing the methods, but working backwards, having the tools. But the key is being able to look at a guitar and know what the issue is. And then obviously applying the proper method and using the proper tools for the job. So the first part of that comprehensive course is complete, and you can get that for free. You can download it from the description below, put in your email, and that'll give you the step-by-step process for getting your frets level, which is the first thing you have to do before you work on your nut, your intonation, any other issues that may come up. So in terms of how I came to start this channel, I ended up going to school, did some supply teaching, COVID, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up going out west to teach music on a First Nations community out there. And, I was teaching music, had kind of a room full of busted guitars that I had to fix. I had to fix a piano at one point that one of the kids punched really hard, so hard that all the keys broke. And then another kid was playing hide and seek, I think the year previous. So all the bottom keys were busted out. So I had to, doing a lot of guitar repair and other various repairs. And there was also this shop there that was basically being unused. So basically I was teaching music, but then trying to get these instruments up and running as well. So I spent all my prep time in the shop there, and it was a remote island, so it was basically impossible to order things without paying out the ass for them. So I had to get pretty creative in terms of making my own tools and using what I had available. So it was sort of that time where I was in the shop and, you know, teaching was paying the bills, but I really feel like I'm in my element when I'm just alone in a shop with a guitar. It's, I don't know, it's almost like a state of mind that I get into, and maybe you can relate if you've worked on your guitars. But it was in those moments that I realized, okay, I love teaching, obviously. I don't really want to teach in a school. It's not really for me. I love fixing guitars. I love teaching music as well. But what I wanted to do was create a channel sharing that idea of teaching and getting the guitar players comfortable with fixing their own instruments, because it's a really rewarding skill to have as a musician. There's nothing better than a perfectly set up guitar that just sounds better, frets like butter, you know. It just, I love that. So that's why I started my channel. And yeah, hopefully that was not too long-winded, but hopefully you got something out of it. And again, you can download that course in the description below, and I'll see you next week.